Hello and welcome to JANA'S hut. In this episode I want to show you a little bit of my process of how I go through all these lids and bits to try and make some new machines. I have already done a little bit of work. I sort of do know where I'm going to be heading, but I want to show you how I got there, and I also want to show you how I will put it together once I'm happy with it. I've got all these different types of lids here. This is a squirty cheese. This is a juice bottle. We've got, I think that's another juice bottle. That's from like a spice bottle. That's a juice bottle. This is a Marmite. Well, yeah, this is from like a suntan lotion. But I also have all these tiny little bits down here that I will be using to create some sort of machine. Well, so I have planned a little bit about what I'm going to do with these pieces, but I just want to show you how I got to the stage that I did. There's a few different things that I would say don't try and do, like have the same thing on top of each other again and again. I mean, that does look a bit like a generator, but I mean, that looks that could be something. What you can't, well, I don't say can't, but what I've found is if you just pile things on top of each other that go in an ascending order, it sort of, you lose the shape of things in. I don't think that looks too bad. Maybe I could do something with that at another point. But what I'm trying to say is it might take a few attempts for you to get something that you're happy with. So just keep going, because at the end of the day you'll find something that you enjoy. One of the problems that I do have is that most of the things that I find can come in twos, can come like this. Ooh. So they are essentially the same lid, but from different brands. Sometimes it's good to have more than one of the same thing. So you've got these little things like this. Could be some sort of generator. I think that's what I'm going for. I can't remember what these are from, what these are, but they're little, I think, little blades go in them, little standing blades, but there's two of them, so they go like that. These birthday candle holders are great. You just plonk them down, and there you have a antenna. Now what I suggest is you want a bit of symmetry and a bit of uniformity, but things are sometimes a little off centre. You want to keep it a little bit higgledy-piggledy sometimes. If you keep going and trying different things, you'll get the hang of it, and you will find that you will have a knack for it. So I think I'm going to put that there. It is a little bit wonky, so I might need to sand that. It's definitely wonky. But already there's lots of things going on the top. Lots of aerials and things pointing up. So what I've decided to do is, I think it's this one. So what I've done is I've got some of these cigarette filters and a bamboo toothpick thing. I think it's bamboo. Already got a hole in there from where I've pushed it in. It's gone through to the other side. Just push it back. What we want to do is put it on there. Oh, is it going to go in? Is it going to work? No. Let's have a go at the one I made earlier. Yeah, so the one I made earlier works. It's given that aerial effect, and the cigarette filter enables you to glue the skewer to the top of it. You've got to be very careful when you're moving everything about. That will definitely fall over. What I'm going to try and do is turn it around. Turn it till you've got. You have to be patient with this. Some sort of look to it. That you're happy with. Sometimes I use a toothpick to just nudge things, put things in the right place. So I've made these two tops. You've got one with a long aerial, one with a short stubby aerial, but they have mirroring bits on them, but two very similar pieces. I want to go a little bit further with this and see if I can put this piece in there now. You've got to be patient. You've got to be patient. Everything does fall apart, so don't worry. If it is happening, it can be very frustrating. Just keep going. Just keep going. You'll get there. So now you've got two very similar pieces, just slightly different from each other. Gives it that uniformity. Now let's see if I can do this now. Oh, it worked. Get it at the right angle, keep going with it, play about with it, keep going. There's just things like this. I think that's from a popper, from a shirt. I'll just put that on the side there, but what I have found that things go nicely just sort of off center from the front. So I've got to choose where the front of this is. So yes, things can take a while, but just keep going, have patience, don't get frustrated. I don't like this. I do, but I don't like it. It needs to be straight. that looks okay. Put one of these on the side to give it a bit of a embellishment. This one I am happy with also. So I'm not too sure if I'm happy with this, so I've made another one of these, put it on there, see how that looks. So before I start to do all the bits, because I'm going to glue these bits together, they look all fine, I'm happy with how they look. I just want to show you this piece. I was playing with this, but it doesn't really fit as well as I like it to. But saying that, I like this. If we was to put this on there, maybe. On there. This one. That fits nicely on there. To me, this is something you can work with, something that you could maybe put some pieces on the front, but just go with it. Just keep going until you find something that you like the look of. Try not to repeat the same thing over and over again. Say, yeah, like this. Maybe if you put them this way, it's a bit more interesting. Get yourself a massive container. It's quite a large container there, so we like that, but just keep going. I'm going to clear all this away and just have the bits that I have chosen to stick together. Now I know all the pieces that I'm going to use, I can just focus on those. I'll stick that together, but first of all I want to make sure that these are a bit nicer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take them out there. And then just gently. Now, what you're going to see is if you just rip it off, it will do that. If you get some of this, you can get yourself a nicer edge. Just keep going. Got myself some of these. What I want to make sure is it stands up before I put one of these in it, because when I put this into it, sometimes it doesn't want to stand up. Right, I'm going to get right in the middle as far as you can get it, and push so you can feel it come through a little bit. So now we've got this, we want to make sure that it stands straight when you put it on there, because it's important. It's going to be on this one. So I just have to hold that in place to make sure that goes That's right. I've just decided that I'm going to use this piece as well. You've got some sort of 3-layered generator thing going on. I don't know if I like it. Maybe with this on top. I'm not too sure if I'm happy with this, because it does have quite a repetition on it. It does sort of just look like a load of lids stacked onto one another. Even with this little transmitter and everything. Let's have a look. Let's try another one. Oh, this one I've already done. Then I thought maybe it needs more transmitters. Get one of these. Get one of these. Find the middle. Push it in. Maybe it could have more transmitters around it. Like a couple. Different lengths. So I think we'll do that. Just go nuts with the antennas. There's a lot going on. It's all getting a bit messy, so I just need to get sticking and have faith in the fact that I will have something I'm happy with at the end. That's why planning is so important, because you could end up with something you're not happy with and it's all stuck together. So please plan ahead. But firstly, I'm going to prep my lids. So I'm going to get rid of these little bits around the edge of the lid that were attached the seal to the seal. And just do that by gently sanding it off. Sometimes you'll get to a stage and you just want to glue bits together so that they stay together, so that when you're putting the other bits on, it doesn't all fall apart. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll start with this bit as the base. Get yourself some super glue. Oh, before you do this, it is good to do this to anything you're gluing. Just gently, just a little bit, so that it roughs up the surface of what you're gluing. want to try and get it as straight as you can. That is a little bit off, but I don't mind. It's this one that's going to be the tough one. Some glue around the edge. It might not work every time. You just got to keep going and you'll get there. Let's do this one. That is a little bit off. So hard to see, so hard to tell. That's in the middle enough for me. Last bit of these bits here. Please watch your fingers. I have no regard for my fingers and will end up getting super glue all over them. I do not have any tips or tricks on how to stop that from happening. Just to, let's put the lid back on the glue. Just to point out, there are very small details in these lids. You can see that there's a little bit missing from the ridges there, and there is a little bit missing from the ridges there. And you can line those things up if you want to, or just have them off here. I didn't notice until just then. I have noticed on others before. There's another one there, another gap there. So yeah, it's just these little small details that there's too, and they don't line up either. So I have these two now glued together as a good base for me to start putting on all the little embellishments. Got these little bits here. Can try and add a little bit of glue to that very tiny little edge. Sometimes I don't know if there's glue coming out, but there'll probably be enough glue on the tip to get it to stick. I want that just to be off center. Ah, there wasn't enough glue. Try again. I can see it. Hold that in place. I don't think it's sticking. Already it's looking like a machine. This won't stick down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blob some directly on to the surface. Give it one of them. When you have excess glue on surfaces, it will notice, so try and get it off. It will be quick because it will glue the tissue to the piece. You can see in the light there it's still wet. Just push down. That is now attached. Now for this piece, what I'm going to do, put glue on that. it can be very difficult to get that straight. And with all of these filters, as they're made of paper, they'll have this seam. What we want to do, have the seam covered, so blob some directly on there. Check it down. Hold your breath. Give it a test. That's stuck. That's stuck. Machine coming together. I'm gonna give this little birthday candle holder a little one of them. I think I can attach that to that. Don't want it completely next to that. I think that looks alright. Oh, it's wonky. I mean, it's wobbly. Not enough of the super glue. Try again. Don't want it too close to the other pipe. Transmitter. That's the tip. Yep, that's done. That's glued on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that there. Come back to that in a second and continue working on this piece. So again, super glue. I think dabbing it on there worked. You want to give it one of them, swirl it around, get as much of the surface. Oh, come on, get as much of the surface that you're sticking down. Oh, it's all coming apart. When you're sticking something down and it doesn't have an even surface, I've just broken the back off. So when you're sticking things down and it doesn't have an even surface, it will give you jip. I think this deserves one of these. Attach the and hold your breath. Let go. It's worked. Birthday candle holder. Oh. Now that I've got everything that I'm happy with glued in place, I can now try this positioning of this without it all falling apart. Ooh, see, now that goes down nicely. Just keep positioning it until I'm happy with how it looks. Still unsure. Maybe if I just get rid of this whole nubbin at the end. Let's see. Taken off the end bit. Now it won't stand up. I'm still not too happy with it. Oh, like that. So if I put blob of glue, blob it down, stick it down, hold your breath. So now we have two machines that are similar but different, and I think they look pretty cool like that. One looks like that, looks good like that. Turn this one around, looks like that. Amazing. So now I'm going to embellish this with this popper. What I find is you don't want anything to be too straight on with this. You want it to be just a little bit off to the side. So let's say that this is the front. Well, this would be the front because you'd use that panel maybe, I don't know. But if you put that there, that's in line with those bits. Just want to move it round until you find a place you're happy with. Where could we add this little dish? I'm thinking maybe this side, just off to the side. Yeah, that looks great. Now, this thing has a dome, and that is the back of it. But what I want to do is use that as the front and the dome as the back. But what I'm going to have to do, get this, put it on there, hold it tight, go around a bit, flatten the surface of that dome. Not only is it very smooth, it's round, so you want to make it flat as you can, so that it has something to attach to the side of this. Bit of glue on the end of this. And we're going to just put it on the side here. I think that looks good. Nice little radar. Got this one. What I want to do is add more to this. So I'm going to get more of these little filters. I think we'll have 3 more. You don't want to get too carried away because then you'll change the shape of the stick. You'll start to break too much off. again, one of these. Let's try this again. Yep, that's looking good. I like that. Another one. The more I do this, the more super glue I'll get all over my hands. Well, I know I like that one there, so blob glue there. You want to make sure it's straight. Once in place, it needs to be straight because it's manufactured, not handmade. How's that looking? Yeah. Oh, no. You've got to turn it around to check. See that this one's all bent. Snap it off. Doesn't matter. You can glue it back on. So let's have a look. Where is it going wrong on this? Who knows? Back a bit more glue down. Have a look. It's a lot straighter than it was. I think that's where it was anyway. So now we've got this machine with a couple more antennas on it. As I was saying before, sometimes symmetry works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't feel that's working, and possibly it's because this antenna needs to be shorter. So I'm going to just take that down a bit. You can see just there, it's starting to take the sides of the bamboo away. I'm trying not to, I'm trying to make it nice and smooth. That is looking better. So I think I've decided that this is the front of this machine. I'm going to place it not directly opposite. I'm going to move it around a bit to here. don't know how to explain it, but this one's not going in as well because I haven't put the blue lid perfectly in the middle of the yellow. So I'm going to put it there, whack a bit of glue down, hold it. I think that's looking good. Lots of antennas. Something I've wanted to try. Filters and bamboo skewers. No, sorry, toothpicks. I do have some bamboo skewers. Toothpick. Skewer. Quite a hefty thickness. I don't think that it would work so well with one of these. It's quite long. But hopefully you can get some framing around one of these one day. I'm just looking to get something to make it work. But so far we've got this. And this machine. I've made these two machines. So now we're at a stage where these are looking more like machines than anything else, I guess. This is definitely some communications equipment. Got a little radar, lots of antennas, generators to send the signals. The next thing to do would be to add a few little details like this radar dish. Sometimes I'll just add a couple buttons down there. On here there's not really any surfaces to do that with, unless I just put them inside there. There is a little bit of room for something there. I could put something on top of this surface. That curves, this curves in. So that's something I've got to work on. Deciding what I want. See, when you turn it, you notice this isn't straight. You get yourself the super glue, you just break it off. Squirt some underneath. Hold it down. And it's also changed the position of it. I quite like that. I like the look of that. Keep that like that. Now it's leaning a little bit. Now it's glued down again. So I'm just going to leave it. What I like to do is use some of this or this is a pink one. Now what they are from is the top of an oil bottle, and this is the peely bit. That you peel off so that you can open the top. What I like to do is cut little squares or little rectangles off of this so that I can then add them on as buttons. Down here you can see I put 3 there. It's nice to do 3. Sometimes with control panels you have keyboard. So you might want to try and do 1 to 9. A bit difficult. They're a bit scraggy on the ends. That's not going to focus. But you can just run a little knife down the edge. Try not to cut into the plastic. Let's see if I can do that now. You've got a bit of flashing there. Sort of gently run a craft knife blade down the edge. Try and have the knife just gently going across the top. You don't want to go into the plastic, it can happen. It kind of cleans it up a bit. Just sort of sink your knife into it. It comes away like that. Now this is a very tricky bit. Let's see if I can do this. Blob. Get a piece of plastic. You put it on the surface that you want it. Glue plastic. There you have a button. I think I'll do a bigger, longer video on how to add bits to these machines, just to give them a bit more detail and a bit more life. That one's not going to stay, but we'll just keep going with it, keep adding to it. Never forget to put your glue away safely, and retractable blades. These, I don't mind these, I think they look nice. I look forward to painting them. That's what I'll eventually do. But I thought I might just show you my process, show you how finicky it can be, how complicated it can get. Just be patient, just keep going, and you'll get there. Practice makes perfect, definitely with something like this. Try not to glue your fingers together, just have fun. Thank you for watching. Please leave any comments down below. Thanks for dropping by to JANA'S hut to watch my videos. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.